uncle who's in prison is calling my phone out of nowhere.
I'm a traditional kind of gal. Like, you open the door for me, you carry my bags, like you say thank you if I cook for you.
He showed you the signs and you still sticked around because you're trying to see it through.
He just was planning on ghosting me the whole time.
Oh no.
Had me looking out my window like Malcolm X.
So there's certain places you find love, and most times a dating app ain't it. Not everybody's meant to be on a dating app. Some people ain't meant to be dating at all. This is the reason I'll personally never going on a dating app ever again. So I met this girl on Hinge. She was in law school. She had tattoos. She had a cool contrast vibe to her. Now, this was the first red flag I should have clocked immediately. We had been talking for a month. Mother's Day rolls around. I'm on Instagram, normal, scrolling through, seeing all the moms or whatever. I see her story, and I start clicking through. I'm like, she posting a lot of pictures with this baby. Who the hell is it? Oh, shit. Did not even mention she had a kid. So I swipe up on the stories like, Happy Mother's Day, I guess. To which she responds, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't want to tell you because, I'd like to keep things private, whatever, blah, blah. I'm an understanding person, I get it. Not everything is supposed to be everyone's business, right?
Not everything is supposed to be anybody's business, but if I'm interested in you and we're talking, are you going to tell me that part of your life? It's not like you want to meet the child immediately, but just to know that you're a mother, and if that's even his preference. We haven't even listened to the full story, but I just know that there are some people out there that don't want to date single moms or single dads.
Be, and drop her just because she got a kid. So it's all good. Let that slide. She would constantly tell me that her family members didn't like her. Now, I'm being understanding. I'm trying to be, play devil's advocate by saying like, you just misunderstood my dumb ass. She literally told me one day her mom called her the devil. And I didn't heed that warning. We kept talking. At this point, we've been talking for like two and a half months. She comes down. She used to live up in North Cali. She came down to visit me for a weekend. No complaints. She was cool as like I didn't have no complaints whatsoever. Problems didn't start really for me until after when she left. She started having issues with things she didn't even have issues with that really had no business being issues. Started arguments all the time. I'm not an argument person. I tell people up front, hey baby, I don't do arguments. That's my thing. I don't argue. We could talk out things. We're adults, whatever. She started crossing that boundary. There was a point where I was like, you know what? This is getting too much. Let's just end things. I say it respectfully. I'm like, let's just end things. I want you to go find whatever makes you happy, whatever, blah, blah. This woman who lives up in the Bay, I live in LA. She immediately left her job and drove from the Bay down to LA. What should have been a 6 to 7 hour drive, she made 3 to 4 and showed up at my crib proud of the record-breaking speed that she went. I let her in. I tell her, I'm like, look, you don't need some therapy. If this is going to work, you clearly got some baggage you're dealing with.
If you feel like that is a huge red flag and that person is dangerous, have the conversation outside the house. You do not need to let anybody inside your house. And I know he's not saying this, but I'm just talking in general right now. If you are going on a first date, do not let a man into your house. And men, do not let women into your house on the first date. It can be very dangerous. Things can go from 0 to 1,000 very quickly. And say things just don't work out after a first date. They already know where you freaking live. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I would have never wanted people to know where I stay. That's no.
Understand, we all got it, but you're gonna need some therapy. To which she looked me in the face and she was like, I'm gonna go to therapy. I know I got problems, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, cool, we squash it, boom. Later on that same week, other issues arise. She started doing the same. I cut it off again. right? This time, it really hit me like in the middle of the night. So I sent her a text at like 3 a.m. being like, you know what, I don't want to do this, like whatever, blah, blah. Like, I was really standing firm. I was standing on business. I don't want to do this no more. It's becoming too much. I sent the text, put my phone down, I went to sleep. Boom, out. I woke up the next morning to paragraphs of her going off on me, her DMing random women that I probably followed recently, asking how they know me. She threatening to heavy on the... I'm like...
And it was at that moment you realize that her mom's words were ringing true. She's building you up a strong testimony. This is your story now. Keep telling it.
What the... So I literally had to hit up her family members being like, yo, your sister wildin', I don't know if you know, but she's saying this, I don't know if she's serious or not. She's saying she gon', you know what I'm saying? So I never spoken to her family before. Her family said, the best advice we can give you is to run. Wait, hold on, what do you mean? What do you mean? One of them says something is actually clinically wrong with her. You need to run. All right, bet, cool. Don't reply to none of her texts. Block her number at this point, probably. I don't even remember. I just was trying to get away from all that.
If her family members are telling you to run away from her, yeah. I'm glad you blocked and moved on, hopefully. We haven't even finished the story. But I will say, actually, I'm going to assume that she probably doesn't want the help that she needs. And instead will go around causing chaos on other people's lives. Now, the word I wanted to use was this one right here, but my husband makes fun of how I say it with my accent, so I'm not going to say it. Nonetheless, mental health is important and should be taken seriously. And if you need the help, please, 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 there are so many resources. There are even your friends and family that want to help you. But it all starts with you. We can laugh and crack up that her family was telling him to run. Something needs to happen because that person, that woman, is out there in these streets and Lord knows what she's capable of doing. And she is not the only person. There are so many other people out there. So please, 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 if you are a person that deals with somebody with a mental health issue that doesn't want to get it resolved, obviously there's different types. I'm definitely praying for you because that is hard. When they don't want it for themselves, they risk everybody else's life. They are becoming a liability. Anyway,
she was trying to put onto me. I get a call from one of her family members. They said, hey, you live in LA, right? Yes. I think she on her way to you right now. What do you mean? She left a while back. She kind of had this crazy look in her eyes. And I think she's on the way to you. And you telling me this shit now? One of her family members is like, look, you don't owe her nothing. When she pulls up, you don't have to let her in. You don't got to do nothing. Best thing for you to do is just stay in your crib.
The best thing for you to do, dial 911 immediately. That is very dangerous. That sounds scary. I was just saying that earlier. Just literally seconds ago. Well, he lived to tell the story, so let's continue watching.
I'm like, is she the Punisher? What the Her other family members saying you need to have some people with you. You need to have backup with you just in case. What the is happening? She pulls up. I go outside. She in her car. Just lean the seat back.
They told you not to go outside. Why are you outside? I mean, you may take for granted that she's a woman, but I'm telling you, when somebody's mind is made up and they don't have anything to lose, granted she has a kid, but sometimes people feel like even the kid is nothing to lose. You are in danger. Stay in the house and call 911.
Watching in the dark. And I'm like, I can see you. Let her into my lobby. I give her a pat down. Make sure she ain't got no weapons on her.
You probably have weapons in your house. Hello? A knife is a weapon. Anything could be 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 a weapon. Anything. All right. All right. Do you. Do freaking you, bro. I'm telling you. I've heard too many stories to take this story lightly. I know I giggled and kikied in the middle of it, but I'm sure you did too. But now it's no longer funny. You patting her down like that's gonna do anything. When somebody blacks, have you ever? I'm glad you haven't if you haven't, but have you experienced somebody blacking out and you don't know who they are anymore? Yeah. Yeah. Don't let anybody in your house.
Then I sit with her, have a conversation with her. Eventually, got her to calm down, sent her on her way, whatever, right? She gets back up to the bay. I don't know what she does up there, but starts causing havoc to her family members because she got the idea that her family members been talking to me. Now, all of a sudden, her uncle, who's in prison, is calling my phone out of nowhere, asking me what the is going on. I'm like, how the did you get my number? So I'm like, sir, I'll tell you everything. I was on the phone with that. Every 5 minutes, we heard, doot, doot, doot. Please add more coins for the call to continue or something like that. It was like real like that. After I got through telling him everything, he was just like, he was just, oh nah, I gotta talk to her. I gotta talk to her. Her sister sent me a text when she got back up to the bay. This girl punched a hole through her sister's door just off the idea that her sister might have played a part in me not speaking to her no more. Basically, I had to distance myself completely. I like to think the point of this whole thing was I avoided being a stepdaddy.
You almost didn't avoid death though, so you wouldn't have lived to tell the story. I'm glad you're alive, but when you see the red flags, it's not a carnival unless you think you're a clown, okay? So please, take heed of other people's experiences. I like to learn my lessons through the experiences of other people, and I stay away from trouble. And if trouble comes running my way for whatever reason, I call 911 immediately. Don't make me use my mouse tool. I'm just saying. On a more serious note though, without yapping from my own experiences and other people's experiences, please make sure if you have a mental health issue, please get it taken care of. No matter how light or serious you think it may be, because even if it's light, it will continue to grow and grow if you're not taking care of it. Things will pile up. You will think the world is against you. You will black out and do things that you never thought you would do. So please get the help that you need. The way I have to go the rest of my life without knowing the truth, OMG.
I haven't done like a dating horror story time in a long time, and I somehow just started stalking this girl like on Instagram that made me think about it. So hey girl, if you see this, love you, you're gorgeous. Basically once upon a time during COVID, I lost my mind, as everyone else did, and I don't even know how, I think it was off of TikTok. I used to, like, especially when I first started TikTok, oh my god, like, the men on there, like, that used to be like Hinge. I'm not even joking.
Can you put the food down? I don't watch these stories when I download them. So I don't see when someone's, like, do y'all even want to hear the full story? I can't focus. Every 2 seconds, she's munching on nuts. Girl, first it was a Chipotle lady. Now, can y'all put the... You can eat. Just eat after you're done with the video. There's no way. Sorry, I was trying to compose myself, but I just couldn't.
I'm eating my Chipotle bowl. I'm eating the...
Ah! I thought it was peanuts. It's Chipotle. Put the Chipotle down because now I want it. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want to watch this video. Put the Chipotle down.
It used to be like fucking Hinge, so I would talk to mad guys on TikTok. Sorry. And I started texting this one guy, and he was from England. Love me a British man. We all know I love One Direction. I love British men. So we started texting. We were texting all the time. I'm sorry. She's smacking on top of it. You know what? I'm going to voice isolate. Thank you, God, for video editing. I'm going to voice isolate it, and I'm going to stop crashing on you. Let's continue watching it. You guys won't even hear the smacking. Like, go on Snapchat and play, like, Snapchat games. I don't know if that's still on there, but, like, my friends and I would play Snapchat games with him. He would send food to my house, like, off DoorDash. I don't know how that was possible, especially, like, from England. I don't know. Time goes on. I become friends with supposedly one of his friends, and it's this girl. Well, let's give him a name, okay? Let's call him Johnny. And the girl's name is Sally. And so Sally and I became cool as hell. Me and Sally would like FaceTime and stuff like that. I didn't FaceTime him. I would always ask him to FaceTime, and like he would get weird about it and be like, oh, I can't, like blah blah blah, whatever. But I would talk to like these other girls. I was like friends with all these random British girls, and I would FaceTime them and whatever, and we would all hang out and talk. I like genuinely can't.
I'm sorry, if you're unable to video call on any platform, whether it's Messenger, FaceTime, whatever, Skype still, I don't think Skype's, I think Skype got, I think somebody bought Skype or got rid of, anyway, just, if you can't video call, you gotta go. You are an automatic catfish. Why are you even entertaining them?
Remember if and Sally had told me that he had a girlfriend like later on, like she like low-key hid it. Not like hid it, but like she just didn't tell me. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't tell me that, girl. But it was either that or the actual girlfriend messaged me. Either way, one day I'm on the beach with my family, okay? I'm thinking I have some sexy British boyfriend. He was so hot too. Like, sorry. Either way, one day I'm on the beach with my family and I get a text and this is his actual girlfriend. We'll give her in the name Kate. Me and Kate start text and she's like, you're being catfished by Sally. Sally is pretending to be my boyfriend. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how is that possible? All this, and I was like doing everything to disprove it. And I still to this day don't know whether or not her boyfriend was actually a slimy bitch and was cheating on her, or if Sally was a fucking freak and was literally catfishing me as that man. So, ta-ta, that's my story for today. Really quickly, I'd also like to mention that I was like in group chats with both Sally and what do I call him? Johnny. And they would be texting at like the exact same time and like just so many things where you're like, there's no way this is one person doing this. So like, I really don't know. And I remember I talked to Sally about it after and I was like, girl, were you catfishing me? Were you pretending to be a man? And she denies it. So Sally girl, if it's not true, I'm sorry. But if it is, girl, what the I'm pretty sure I sent her my like, okay, we'll talk about that later.
I don't even know what the reason was for that was. Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't him, maybe Sally liked you, but then y'all were in a group chat with the other guy. I don't know. Anyway, old men shaking my head.
I went on a date with an older guy and I posted a TikTok about it, and I am getting roasted in the comments by grown men. But hear me out. This guy invited me to the movie theaters. He didn't say, hey, let's...
Why are we going to the movie theaters on a first date? I'm assuming it's a first date. There's just no way of getting to know somebody in the movie theaters. That's so high school, maybe even college, because you're in class with the person or you're in lunch breaks with the person, you get to know them and then you go to the movies. But as adults, what are you doing?
Like, let's get to know each other. He's like, you want to go to the movie theaters? It's a dining movie theater. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm there to eat and have drinks. And we get there, and then we get there like an hour before. And I'm like, okay, we can hang out outside, you know? Like, why are we going to go inside and just sit there? So we go inside, and then he was like, do you want a drink? And I'm like, duh, like, you invited me for drinks. So then I get my drink, we order food, we go inside. He's like, yeah, let's go inside. I'm like, it's 30 minutes before the movie starts, plus another 30 for the previews. So that's gonna be a whole hour in there. And like, I don't know this man, you know? So like, I don't want to sit next to a stranger like for an hour before a movie starts. Like, what are we gonna talk about?
Get to know each other? I'm like, maybe not in the movie theater. Maybe there's another movie playing or people are cleaning, but get to know each other maybe? I don't know. Also, the whole getting drinks on a first date, that's debatable to people. For me, maybe. But I remember getting blocked because I don't drink. It was a blessing in disguise because, hello, anyway.
We get there, and then it's 30 minutes before it starts, so I'm just like, anyways, he's not really trying to make conversation with me. And... the cleaning crew comes in, they're like, you guys are too early, like, do you mind if like you step outside really quick so we can clean? Do you see what I mean? And then the food got there as soon as the movie like was like, not even the movie, the previews. So I finished the food within like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then now I have nothing to do. Of course I'm not gonna talk to the guy because we're supposed to be watching a movie, but there's no more food. He didn't offer me a second drink. It was just a mess. But you guys are coming at me like I'm the bad person.
See, I don't know the bigger story, but the one you're telling us, it has nothing to do with his age. Because anybody could have done that. I don't know what his intention was, but that's just odd behavior, in my opinion. And there's nothing more to say. And this is me making it a short story. I want to shake 2023 me. Oh boy.
Wants to hear the story about the guy that I was seeing who was also seeing his sister. I meet this guy on Hinge, okay? He's gorgeous. Like, he looks just like Leo from Tell Me Lies, okay? Gorgeous. So he drives 2 hours to take me on our first date. And we had been talking for a couple weeks at this point. And this is right before or right after my divorce. So, like, I would never do this now. I would never do this now. But I was like, okay, like, why don't you just, like, stay the night after our date? Girl, be so real. Do you think that's a good idea? No. I'll call him Tony. That's not his name. I was like, I opened my door, I said, Tony. And he looks up and starts skipping stairs to get to me. And he gives me a big hug and he has flowers. He was like, I'm so excited to, like, actually see you. And I was like, me too. I was like, I'm finishing getting ready, like, come in, whatever. He takes me to dinner. He has a really nice car. He takes me to a very nice restaurant. I'm like, okay, this guy has his life together. He had gotten out of the military. I won't say which branch. And he was getting his master's. So I was like, his life is, like, put together. I'm obsessed. And the conversation is so good. And he's so interested about my interests, which is, like, not typical. A lot of people just don't want to talk about neuroplasticity and how cool it is. That's, like, one of my biggest interests. He was clocked in. He was ready, okay? He was applying for the job to be my boyfriend. And he's telling me about him, and he grew up on a farm in a southern state, and he was homeschooled. But, like, not the type of homeschool where you're with other kids. The type of homeschool that is just you and your siblings, okay? And he has a sister who is, like, a year younger, 2 years younger. Anyways, so we finished the first day. He stays over. He's already texted me about our next date. He's excited. He's, like, really into it. So he says, why don't you come by me, which is by, like, Eastern, like, ECU. I think that was the school he was getting his master's at. And he was like, we'll do, like, some fun mini golf. I'll take you to this hot dog place because he knows I love hot dogs. I love hot dogs. Leading up to the date, I was feeling, like, sketched out for whatever reason. For really no reason. He was great. But my, like, intuition was like, ooh, this is not good. But my heart was like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Ugh. Having fun, living life, he's hot. At the same time, there was that documentary about that guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Call Me By Your Name. And there was a documentary about, like, all the girls that he had, like, SA'd. And, like, for whatever reason, I was getting the same vibe. And I was also getting the same vibe of, like, maybe.
Ladies, we don't know the full story, but I just want to tell you one thing. If there's anything you ever learn from me, is please trust your gut instinct. It will quite literally save you. That is it. That is all. Is continued.
He was going to eat me at some point. And I can't explain why. He never, like, gave me any reason to believe that he was going to eat me. But I started to really, really hone in on the fact that he was going to, like, hurt me somehow. So we go on the date. Date is so fun. But then at dinner, after mini golf, he was like, you know what? You look just like my cousin. And I was like, oh my gosh. Huh. And he was like, I mean, she's hot. He's like, oh. Okay. He showed me a picture. I look identical. And then he's telling me how hot I am the rest of the night. And I'm thinking, oh, this guy wants to f his cousin. This is what this is. He wants to f his cousin. So we go back. He gets a hotel because he has a roommate because he's in school. He brings out things that I don't want. Wait, who are you doing that with? Because it ain't me. Like, dangerous things. Like for the bedroom? I was like, this isn't like, I'm not.
Girl, what did he bring out? What is it? It could be so many things. There's so many things running in my mind right now. What is it?
No. We started having, like, pillow talk, okay? We're getting really deep into conversation. And he reveals to me that when he was in, like, 3rd grade, him and his sister got really curious. I'm gonna throw up. Girl. And I was like, huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And he like really gets into detail of what they did from 3rd grade to a couple years ago. They were having a full-blown relationship. In that just in just that one way. Okay? I really hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, okay? Him and his sister had relations for years. And I'm fawning at this point because I'm like, I'm actually in danger. This is not good. I've been drinking. I can't drive home 2 hours. And so I become a therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that probably really affected you, you know, throughout your whole childhood. Like, do you think that's like brought into your adult like your life? Like, I'm trying to be a therapist, you know, and try to make him feel comfortable to just like keep talking. But I'm like, I really don't want to hear it, but what am I going to do? I got nowhere to go. So he tells me everything until we fall asleep. I'm driving home. He's calling me and he's just like, I had so much fun. Like, I love getting to know you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me too. So much fun. So much fun. But I was like, you know what? It feels like you don't really have a relationship with God. So like, I need that. And he was like, well, I also need someone that I can but like,
What the heck did I look into? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I said, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you just didn't seem into like all the things that I was into. Yeah, because I'm not. Because most people aren't. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum, but like yuck. Yucky. Yeah. No. Just because they look like Leo does not mean you should date them. No. Ugh. I'm so, like, honestly, this is embarrassing for me to tell. I've waited 2 years to tell this story because every time I try to, I'm like, oh, this looks bad for me. Like, ugh. Well, let me know if you have any questions.
A few things about this story time that we can learn from it is, number one, trust your gut. Even if you don't understand why you're getting these warnings from somebody, trust your gut, listen to it. It will never fail you. Another thing is to have a pre-planned strategy. Anything from, hey, I know she drove 2 hours away, but she could still say, hey, have an excuse. Be polite, but be firm in it. Hey, we can hang out for a little bit, but I need to go do A, B, and C really fast. And also, like I've said, don't go to a person's house, especially say it is the 3rd date and you're still getting weird vibes or your intuition is banging at your head telling you to leave. Do not go on that date, especially in a private area where it's just the both of y'all, because that could be so dangerous. Another thing you can do is go to the restroom, call the cops, and by the time they knock, you're going down. Or try to leave, especially if you have your own vehicle. Try to escape. But what you always want to do in a situation like that is remain calm and level-headed as best as you can, because things can go left very quickly. That is my advice. I'm pretty sure that you guys have more advice that you would love to drop in the comment section for just anybody that is watching, finds themselves in a situation that they never thought possible. Please leave it down below. Obviously, it depends on the scenario. All in all, please be safe and try to be logical. I don't care how handsome a guy is, how charismatic the guy is. Usually those are the ones that we see in criminal documentaries. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm just saying usually the personalities are great personality, charismatic, handsome, blah, 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 which I just looked at the guy. Y'all saw me looking, and you know what? Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Y'all, I wish I made this crap up, but this is my real life dating experience, and this is why nobody F's with Hinge.
I was told to make this video, so I'm going to share with you my Hinge date from hell. And to be honest, at this point, I feel like I need to start making this a series because I really just be going through it. So first off the bat, I naturally think I'm in an episode of Love is Blind because the person that I matched with doesn't have that many pictures, but like the little bit that he did have, like you could just tell that those were old pictures. And so I asked for his Instagram, and I saw that he had no post, but he had some tagged photos. And so I checked the tagged photos, and I had to go, FBI, and look up like his pictures, like his most recent one. And there was only one that like you could kind of see his side profile, but like not really. And so I was really just going on a limb here. I'm gonna sit up for this. So then we're talking and we're texting, and the banter is good. He's like funny, sarcastic, like it's like right up my alley, right? And I'm like, you know what? Even though I don't fully know what he looks like, I like his personality. So I agreed to go on a date. And he suggested we do dinner and karaoke. Now, I'm not saying I did the smartest thing, but I definitely gave him my address so that he could pick me up and so that we could go together. In my mind, I thought that was a good idea. Don't be like me. Don't be a dumb.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's dumb. Also, don't call yourself a B word, but it's just people that have ruined it for other people. When a man wants to be a gentleman and meet you at your doorstep, on a first date, it used to be normal. Or maybe it didn't. I thought it was normal. Until now, where if you do, I'm side-eyeing you because you never know who you're getting. Anyway, honestly, what did change? What did change? And I'm curious if somebody knows. I need an explanation far more than just it was social media that started blowing these types of people up. Maybe it's something in the water.
He picks me up like the day, like we talked for about like a week and a half, and then we met up. And he picks me up, and the karaoke place that he picks is literally an hour away. But before we even get into that, my first impression of him, I was so nervous. I always am nervous when I'm going on a date with someone. So I literally only looked at him for like 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds, I was like, oh, like he's cute. Like he's pretty cute, actually. And so I was like feeling good about it. We get in the car, and I like really start to analyze his features. And I'm like, Immediately I think, you know what, I'm not like fully into how he looks, but it doesn't matter because I wanted to still like go on the date because I was interested in in his personality. So keep that in mind. So we have an hour in this in the car ride, and I'm telling myself like, let's get to know each other kind of thing. And so we're asking each other questions, and he's asking a lot about my past and my past relationships or past really anything that I had going on with a guy. And so I am being fully transparent and telling him all my business basically, but like not OD, I'm keeping it general. Let's keep in mind that he's also sharing stuff about himself too, so it's not like I'm the only one.
I don't care if he's sharing stuff about himself. There's just something about a first date where a guy asks you, I know there's gonna be somebody, then what are we supposed to talk about? Don't share any of your trauma on a first date, nor second, nor third, because certain guys will use that against you. And vice versa. Certain women will use that against you. So just because he's sharing, you may not have bad intentions, and he may know that. And so he's open to sharing. And he may be even lying just to get you to share more because he knows that you're a good person and you're probably being honest. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So whatever, we get to the place, and I already decided that like looks wise he's not like fully my type, but we go to the restaurant and we order, and y'all, so the way that the layout was set up, right, there's like TVs everywhere. So he's asking me a question about like my high school experience and whatever. So I'm telling him, and I see that he keeps looking back like constantly because he's looking at the TV. He's looking at the football game. And I'm one of those people like, you need to give your attention to me or I'm going to feel a type of way. So I immediately was already feeling annoyed about it. So he's not paying attention to me, but he's not fully ignoring me either. Like he can still like jump into the conversation with me. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. And I am by no means funny. I am not like the funniest person ever, but whatever I said had him laughing so loud and so obnoxiously that the servers and the people around literally were stopping to stare at us and to ask if we're okay. Do you know how loud you need to be in order for the bar tenders and the people at the bar to stop what they're doing to look at you? And I'm sitting here like this, like I'm like, and he is full on cackling. So after that, I immediately was like, nah, like he's really weird. And keep in mind, I am also on my sobriety journey. I am fully sober and definitely feel like it's hard being sober in your 20s, but it's especially hard being sober in your 20s and dating. And so I had already told him that I was sober and that I wasn't planning on drinking. Even though we were still doing karaoke, I wasn't planning on drinking. And he was like, well, if you're sober, then I'm sober. And I was like, you know what, that's actually pretty sweet, because you don't have to do that, but you know, you're showing like you're very considerate. We get to the restaurant. Why this man orders 2 beers. And I was just like, you know, fine, whatever. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, you just said he was gonna be sober, so now you lying. But again, it's whatever. So we're still talking. He's still being loud and laughing like a maniac. And then he gets quiet and he's like in space and into his own thought. And I'm like, what are you thinking about? And he's like, you should drink. I'm like, what? I was like, why? Like, no, I'm okay. I was like, why? And he goes, I just think that you should drink. And I was just like, no thanks, I'm all right. Mind you, the minute he said that, I already like, ick, gross. Like,
You should have just walked all the way out. All he wanted was to clap. That's it. He was not interested in you from the jump. He just thought you were gonna be easy. I already know where the story is probably going. Let's continue.
why would you even say that to me? Like, what if I had a alcohol problem and you hear you should drink? Like, no one asked you, okay? Genuinely, in that moment, I knew that he was not getting a second date. Now I'm just trying to push to the karaoke part, because now I made it through dinner and now we were like, okay, let's do karaoke. And I was like praying that this date would go by faster, because it felt like I was in my own personal little hell. So we get to karaoke and this man, we're singing. At first I'm like, you know what, it's not so bad. Like, he's singing, I'm singing, and we're having a good time. It's whatever. But he orders 2 sojus for himself. And I was like, all right. And meanwhile, I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. I want water. And like, before y'all say, oh, like you could have asked him or you could have told him, I feel like on a date, like, you should also be considerate of your partner and ask, hey, it's like, do you want something to drink? Water, and soda, Sprite, ginger ale, really anything. But he didn't do that. And so I was not going to be the one to like say, oh, I want a water or I want ginger ale. Like, I was thugging it out, bro. I was raw dogging it. My fucking throat was like, it was hurting. I was choking. So afterwards, we're singing, and out of nowhere, he's like, you should freestyle. And I'm like, I don't want to freestyle. Like, I don't know how to freestyle. I don't know how to rap. Bitch, I'm not Nicki Minaj. And he goes, like, you should do it though. Like, you should try it. And I'm like, how about you do it? And then I will like follow your lead. Like, if I see you do it, maybe I can do it. He starts freestyling and he starts rapping. And this man starts rapping about my dating history, about my past. Like, straight up starts saying, Nikki's been heartbroken 3 times and she not over it. Yeah, she's not over it, but she's still bad though. Like, she a baddie though. And I'm like, sir, in what moment do you think that I told you about my past and my history, my traumas, so that you could rap about it?
Yeah, because it's a joke to him. He didn't care. He was paying attention to spin it around and slap you with it. This happens time and time again. I don't know whether it's because my frontal cortex is now fully developed or that I got married, but I've been peeping the BS now more than ever. And you just see this crap from a distance.
Like, what? Like, y'all, I had never ever in my life had someone rap about that I've been through. And so he finishes his rap, a 3-minute rap, bro. And he's like, all right, your turn. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to rap. I was like, I don't want to rap about your life, and I don't want to rap about anything that you told me. Literally just go silent. He puts on a song and I'm like, you're not gonna sing? And he's like, no. And you could just tell he got so sassy. What the f is this song? So I'm like, all right, so if you're not gonna sing, like, we're just gonna sit here in silence. And he's like, yup. And so we're literally sitting in silence in this karaoke booth, and we're just hearing the beat to this song that I don't even know. And in that moment, I genuinely was like, I miss my ex. I do. I really, in my mind, I was like, because as a of a man as he was, there's no way he would have had me sitting in this damn karaoke booth in silence. I was appalled. And so I'm like, all right. And I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to do, bro. Like, I'm literally just sitting in silence because I cannot speak. Man goes, what time you trying to get home? I'm like, not too late. And so he was like, let's do one more song and then we can head out. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, give me an artist and I'll choose the song. So he gives me Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to type it in. And he's sitting with his arms back, you know, like this. And he's just like, Nicki, come into my arms. I was like, what? Like, I pretended I didn't hear. I was like, what? And he's like, come into my arms. Y'all gonna need a part 2, but he goes, come into my arms. And I'm like, I'm not affectionate. Like, I had to lie. I didn't want to be in his arms. I don't know what the he's trying to do, bro. All right, then I was like, we're gonna need part 2.
When he asked you what time you're trying to get home, you should have taken your bag and said, right now, actually, and left. Now, I know, easier said than done sometimes. I don't know how young you are or old you are, but we've all made mistakes in life. But those of y'all that haven't started dating yet, learn from the experiences of other people. This is real life with people that have real issues that aren't resolved. Please tell me what you would have done if this happened to you. Oh my goodness.
If you think your dating life is bad, let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you a story. See that back there? That's a suitcase. On Monday, I drove 3.5 hours to go.
Was that the smoke detector in a car? What was that sound? I know y'all heard it. Not the first initial sound, the second one.
Visit a guy because he's in the army and he just never could come visit me. Whatever. So I drive out there to go spend time with him and be close that I can see him every day for 5 days. I come over, he makes me dinner the first night, burnt the dinner to a crisp. Nothing against it. Most men can't cook. Not surprised. So
sorry, not freaking sorry. I'm not driving anywhere for a man. Nope, especially one that I haven't met yet. If you missed it, she said she drove 3.5 hours to go meet up with a guy who's in the army to stay with him for 5 days. We listen, we side eye, and we do judge just a little bit, but not too much because we've all made some weird decisions in our lives.
it's like, you know what? I'm gonna make dinner tomorrow night. So tomorrow, the next day, I just go drive around and I go grocery shopping and I get like $30 worth of groceries to make like a chicken garlic parm dinner. I go back to his place. For 2 hours, I am cooking so that the house smells good when he gets home.
Are you his wife? I'm sorry. I keep pausing the dang video because why are you acting like you already this man's wife? Cooking 2 hours so the house smells good. This guy couldn't even come down to see you. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline.
And that he has something hot and ready to eat when he gets home. So I make this dinner. I prepare it in the oven. Doesn't want to eat when he gets home right away, which, like, whatever. He's like, I'm going to go work out and then I'm going to eat. And I was like, cool. So he goes and works out. He comes out and we eat dinner. Does not say thank you for cooking the food. He does not say thank you for buying the food. And he doesn't even really compliment. He was just like,
and that is your sign that you're probably doing too much and you should go ahead and drive 3 more hours back home immediately. You've learned your lesson. Don't ever do that again. Toodles. Go back. Live your peaceful life. The life you knew before you met that man.
Like, at the end, it was like, oh, it was good. That was it. And so then I do the dishes and I clean up. He kind of piddles in there a little bit and like dries and puts away the dishes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he had a long day at work. You know what? I have no idea. He's in the army. Who knows? Who knows what kind of day he had? So I was like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. So the next day I go out and I get more groceries. I buy the groceries. I go back and I make dinner. He comes home a little early and he goes straight to his bedroom.
Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on him. He showed you the signs and you still sticked around because you're trying to see it through. We don't want that kind of entertainment. My goodness. I would rather a story time where you come here and you tell us that you left immediately and we would be cheering you on. What are you doing? Trying to trial it out again?
Straight to his bedroom. And I'm like, okay. So I wait an hour and a half and I'm like, well, he's still not out here. So I'm going to make dinner and eat because I'm hungry. And it's like 6:30 at the time. And I was like, okay, I'm making dinner. So I make a quesadilla for me. I make extra and put it in the microwave for him. He comes out like 45 minutes later after I finish eating. I already washed my dish and put it away. And I'm just sitting on the couch talking to a friend. He literally, I was like, hey, dinner, I made dinner, it's in the microwave for you. And he was like, cool. Goes in, grabs it, literally walks right back to his bedroom. Right back to his bedroom and sits in there and eats the quesadillas that I made by himself. And I know I'm really worked up about it because right now it is 10:30 at night and I am going home a day early because I'm not doing this. I'm going to be home at 1 a.m. I don't care. So he comes back out and I was like, so what'd you think of it? And he was like, it was good. Tasted like an actual quesadilla. It tasted like an actual quesadilla because it was an actual quesadilla, okay? It was an actual quesadilla. I was like, okay, whatever. it's fine. I'm not making dinner tomorrow night. I'm just not doing it. I'm not spending more money on this ungrateful man. So he comes back from work and he's like, hey, what you been doing? You just been chilling today? I'm like, yep, just been chilling, calling people back home. They're checking in on me, whatever. And he was like, okay, I didn't know if you made dinner or anything. I'm like, I made dinner. No, I did not. So I was like, do you want to watch a movie tonight? And he was like, well, I think I'm gonna just work out and make some dinner. And I was like, okay, cool. So he works out, he burns something in the kitchen for dinner, and I'm literally like waiting to see if he's done and we can watch a movie. Goes back to his bedroom like a troll, like a hermit. And so I go and I sit on the couch and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch a movie. So I walk out there to go sit on the couch and select a movie, and I hear this man in his bedroom talking to another woman. And I literally have the receipts on this, but he's literally in his bedroom playing a game, talking to another woman. And like the first night that I came over, he was like, I'm gonna go back and play my game. And I'm like, I wonder if he's just been talking to this chick the whole time. So I was on the phone with my friend. I said, you know what? I'm leaving.
Did y'all agree for you to come over? Or was this done by you liking the guy so much?
I'm gonna just make up some crappy story and I'm leaving. So I packed up all my stuff, I put it by the door, and I knocked on his door, and I hear him, oh, hold on a second, somebody's knocking at my door. I'm gonna hang up and I'll call you back. I'm like, somebody's me, that person that drove 3.5 hours and took time off work where she could have been earning money to spend time with you. Yeah, that's someone. So he opens the door and I'm like, hey, my mom's having a medical emergency. She's in the ER. I gotta go home. Total lie. Super fabricated. I mean, I really should have just told him straight up that I think you're boring. I think you have no manners. And why are you talking to another girl in your bedroom?
And I bet he did not care that you had to leave. Matter of fact, I think you did him a favor by actually leaving, because now all the other chicks that are in his roster can come back and see him.
Like, while one is sitting on the couch, literally in your own home. So yeah, I am currently driving home. I am set to arrive at around 1:30 a.m. back in Mississippi. I'm so sick of dating. I'm so sick of dating because I don't know what it is about me, but I just attract the douchiest men. Like, the douchiest men. And this is terrible. At least I have enough self-worth, I think, to leave. I'm not gonna stick around, but like, at the same time, why does this keep happening? What did I do? What did I do wrong? I was never messy.
It's probably the type of guy, like you're saying, that you go after. Give us a picture and we'll help you attract the opposite type of man. It's not a matter of attracting the opposite man. You just have to be attracted to the opposite guy of whoever the freak that guy was and the other guy that you keep dating. Give us a picture and we'll help you.
Cleaned his house while he was at work. I swept the floors. I cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned the plastic he burnt off his stove the night before. I cleaned his bathroom. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I might be doing too much, honestly. I might be doing too much.
You're doing too much for the wrong guy. That's your issue. Never drive 3 hours, 2 hours to go see a man for the first time. Ever. It is very dangerous. It is already dangerous for a man to drive hours to go see a woman. So how much more you, as a woman? Please be careful. You're lucky he just ignored you, because it could have been worse.
It's not that I'm not doing enough. But like, I'm a traditional kind of gal. Like, you open the door for me, you carry my bags, like you say thank you if I cook for you. You should want to spend time with me, otherwise.
I don't think a traditional gal would have drove 3 hours to go see a man. He didn't even have a door to open, and I bet you opened his door to the house. And you cleaned the bathroom, you cleaned plastic that was stuck on his stove. Do you know how hard that can be if you don't have the right materials for that and you weren't expecting that? Yeah, you did too much for the wrong guy. Wait until you get a ring or something. Get into a seriously committed relationship or something. Don't take my advice the wrong way. I am doing nothing but showing you tough love. If you were my friend, I would clock you immediately. And I'm not talking about raising my hand at you. I'm saying exactly what I'm saying in this video is what I would say to your face. And then at the same time, I'd remind you, you're not the first, you're not the last, and you will never be the only person to make these mistakes, because we've made mistakes of our own as well. We just learn from other people on top of that.
I don't know why we're even considering dating. Like, this is just, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, that's my rant. So if you think your dating life sucks, mine's probably worse. It's not that bad because I always get out of it, but like, this keeps happening. This keeps happening, and this one is the worst because I actually drove here. He would not even come to visit me. He would not come to visit me first, and I drove here. I spent my gas, I spent my money on groceries, I spent my time cooking and cleaning, and yeah, this is what it has amounted to. So I blocked him, so he's hopefully not gonna see this video, but if he does, dude, you gotta step up your game because you suck. You are boring. We're so boring. And you need some serious manners, and I don't think you're ready to date because I don't think you know how to treat a woman, or you're just a player and a cheater. So, yeah, I'm disgusted with dating. So the next guy that takes me on a date better impress me, or I might be an old hag that lives by herself with her farm animals. I'm just like, ah! I was literally shaking when I knocked on his door and I was picking up my bag sleeve because I was like so upset. I was like, this is bad. This is bad. So yeah, that is my fun story. I wish it was fake, but I don't even think I have the creative juices to create something like that in my head. But yeah, dating sucks.
The first action in the story that we just watched is to please take accountability for your actions. There are things that you did that you could have avoided in this situation, and you say this keeps happening to you. Swallow the accountability pill. I don't know why I wanted to say the additional pill, but swallow it, please. It's gonna be hard. I have water for you if you need it. I think it's time to wrap up the Hinge profile.
I've realized you just can't trust anyone on the dating apps. I don't usually come on here and talk about dating life or the dating apps or anything like that, but I feel like I need to tell everyone about this story. It's the most bizarre thing to me, and I kind of want to see if it's happened to anyone else. Basically, long story short, I had been communicating with this guy on Hinge for about a week or so. We went from Hinge to like communicating via text. I really honestly didn't think that I needed to have him on social media only because we were communicating consistently through text message, and having me on Instagram or like Facebook or whatever really wasn't going to change much. But basically we were talking through text, we organised a date, and he even confirmed the location, confirmed the time, and he suggested the location. So I'd never actually been to this place before. When it got to the day of, everything was fine. We were communicating like normal. And he did say to me that we would meet at 7:30, but in the afternoon, he was like, I have to leave work late, so I probably won't get there till before 8. Totally fine, didn't have a problem with that. When it was like later in the afternoon and I was like kind of getting ready to go, he did make a comment saying that he had to go to work like the next day, which I then was like, oh, like, is he implying subtly that he like doesn't really want to go out? By the way, this was on a Friday, so he had work on the Saturday. At like last minute, he said that he had to work. So I just said, like, are you still cool to do tonight? Like, if not, totally fine. And he literally replied with, yes, of course. I'll be there. Anyways, I was talking to my friend. I said, I feel like I'm going to be ghosted. And she's like, no, don't. You're thinking negatively because you're just nervous. And I was like, you know what? True. Anyways, he messages me and says, look, I'm going to be there right before 8. I'm like, okay, sweet. It's 20 minutes for him to get there. It's 20 minutes for me. So we're literally meeting in the middle. So also, I've never been to this place before. And he told me that the venue was limited in their car spots. So he suggested that I park at the McDonald's across the street. I just confirmed with him that he was parking there and he said yes, blah, 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 blah. So I get there a little bit before 8 and I message him and I said, hey, I'm here, let me know when you're here and I'll walk across. It took him a good few minutes to reply, but he said the weirdest comment. In my opinion, I thought it was weird. He replied and he said, I'm here, if you like, walk across. I just don't understand the if you like, because I was clearly there because I wanted to be there, but it just didn't make sense. It was a bit weird. So I literally walked across and I was in the entrance and I said, okay, where are you? He replied pretty much straight away and said, I had to park out the back. There was no car spots at Macca's. But I'm telling you, there was like 10 plus car parks at Macca's. Like, I was parked there. I think I would know. But I kind of just left it and was just like, whatever. And then I replied and I said, okay, well, I'm at the entrance. Then 10 minutes went by and I'm literally waiting there. This guy said he was at the back. So I was like, how long does it take for you to get from the back car park to the front? And I call my friend and I said, this is weird. Like, I don't know what's happening. And she's like, call him. I felt really weird. I didn't want to look like I was clingy or over the top. So I just messaged him and I said, am I at the wrong spot? And my iMessage would not deliver. And that was when I just literally knew. I'm like, this guy's blocked me. And I looked on Hinge because, you know how sometimes it has like the location? I thought maybe he's updated it. No, he's unmatched me on Hinge. So I tried calling him and it just went straight to voicemail. So that really just confirmed everything. He's blocked me and he's ghosted me. My friend tried calling him and he would let the calls go through and her messages deliver. So I'm really not sure why he didn't block her, because she was like low-key abusing him, being like, why did you stand up my friend? But he blocked me with no explanation. I think what I'm most confused about is A, if he was even there, or B, whether he wasn't there and he just was planning on ghosting me the whole time. I don't understand why he made me walk into the venue. Why couldn't he have ghosted me or blocked me before I left? Also, I didn't think about this until when I got home, but I don't know whether he was there watching me and watched me walk inside. I still feel so uncomfortable about the whole situation, but I just want to know whether people actually have had that happen to them. Whether you've organised a date with someone and they've just bailed on you, but like have made you go to the venue and they just stand you up. I've been on the apps for a little while now and I've never experienced anything like this before. And to be honest, it's really turned me off because I feel like you just can't trust anyone. And I'm telling you, I didn't get any sort of inkling that this guy was like this. I thought he was really nice. We got along really well. And honestly, maybe he still is a really nice person. I just can't understand why anyone would do this to someone.
I'll tell you this much. He is not a nice person because a nice person wouldn't have done that. It's as easy as that. So if you're still questioning if he's nice or not, he's not. No matter how you try to spin it, shape it, form it, he's not. And maybe he wasn't there and he just wanted to play a trick on you. But I'm going to go with the option that I have in my mind immediately when you started getting into more details about this story. And that is, he was there and he probably didn't like how you look like. A lot of people do it, men and women, all the time. It's sad, but people do that. Shout out to all my channel members who have joined the Anti-Delulu Den membership. Shout out to Meoweezy, Lady T, Camco, B, Barkis, Carissa, Catch, Christy, Perez, Jill Elmore, Simone Raspberry, Bryn, Hilder, Sticker, Supremacy, 127, Gemma, Moofies, Aziza, Julie Bradley, Girl Meat, Kelsey Louise, Sagittarius, Grace, as well as Pack Pro. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining the membership. And if you want to be part of the Anti-Delulu Den membership, make sure you hit the join button. I'm talking too fast. And or check out the pinned comment if you have an iOS device. See you guys next time. Another case unsolved, another soul raw dogging reality without support. You, yes you,
Them?
and you.
Okay.
Are you Delulu? Without a Kralulu?
A what?
Inside this top secret society, you'll find loyalty badges, custom emojis, bloopers so unhinged they were legally buried, and behind the scenes footage from Theebusiswa studio that smells like ring lights and a lot of regrets, but she won't tell y'all. Guess what?
What?
You'll also get early access to videos.
That sounds nice.
You'll also get a Q&A session with Theebusiswa where she might overshare with you guys. She might even sing a note or two on a very, very good day.
Could be a good day.
And if you're really good, you may even get a glimpse of her life off of YouTube. The part that she doesn't want anybody to see. But listen carefully. If you're broke or in college or down to your last pack of noodles, do not join. But if you are a coffee addict like this one over here, and you can skip a overpriced latte
Cold brew.
in a month, then feel free to join the Anti-Delulu Den membership today. Like right now, click the join button. Click join right now. You will not regret it because this detective cannot carry this logic alone.